My name's Adam Sylvester, and this is my wife, Andy. And
I've been coming to High Point for, I would say 3.5 years, coming up on 4 in May.
we began the Limitless journey. We were part of Hinsdale, so we were really bought in, and we had a chance to really step into some significant serving roles, more than we had in the past. Everyone had full hands. Like, there was no one not doing something. So that's what kind of helped me jump on board, was seeing the need that needed to be met. So because it was so apparent to us in front of our face.
Just getting into those serving roles that were a really big part of how Hinsdale grew, and being able to come alongside other people who also were a part of the Hinsdale launch, and just getting to serve alongside everybody every weekend, and really becoming even a closer family than we could have imagined.
It fed us spiritually, and we were able to see the perks of serving, as all of our leadership explains it, serving and seeing the fruit of that.
The routine that we had and what we were used to had to all change when we stepped into something. And so God was able to say, okay, he started with, hey, go to Hinsdale. And then he was like, okay, now you're kind of getting a feel of what does it mean to sacrifice your time, to wake up early and go set things up, to stay late and to make sure everything's put away. He really worked in us to see what he was doing at High Point, Hinsdale, to then call us to say, now you're gonna go back to Naperville, and you're gonna pour into the families there because I've poured into you.
And I was struggling with fulfillment at work, and I had a phrase come to my mind that I've said a lot of times since then, of just if we're not building the kingdom, what are we doing? And I was sitting at my desk every workday saying, I'm not building the kingdom right now. I feel like that, combined with the need at Hinsdale, really kind of pushed me to take,
what else there is.
Yeah, to just have a little moment of reflection and say, okay, this is a salary, this is a need for us as a family, but we can be doing even more. And I think that was a big moment for me. It definitely was a family choice for us about what it looked like to switch campuses and kind of come on board full time. And then we were lucky enough that I was offered a position as the director of student ministries for Naperville. We've seen over a dozen people become saved since we've started in this school year of student ministry. We've seen a handful of students become baptized over this last couple weeks. We've just seen God move on Sunday nights. It's so encouraging because it makes waking up and coming to work so exciting, because we get to keep doing that over and over and over until every student that walks in experiences that same thing.
I think, the biggest thing is just seeing how much the kids look forward to being here, because it makes it all worth it. And when you hear the parents are like, the kids were at home talking about this or that, or you made cookies. It's not about how much money did you give on Sunday. It's, hey, did you take the time out of your week to really connect with someone?
I would encourage anyone that's struggling with only seeing giving as a financial thing to really back up and see how Jesus gave. He poured into his disciples with his time. He spent time with them. Our story is a bit unique in the fact that we didn't have an abundance of treasure to give. We weren't able to write a bunch of checks. But God blesses the giver, and what we had to give was our time.
If you take that step of faith, God rewards you. And it may be scary, and you may not know what's gonna happen. You don't know what it looks like. Sometimes you have to release control. Sometimes you have to depend on God and know that he'll equip you. But at the end of the day, when you take that step of faith, God multiplies it, and he does more than we could think he would ever do with it.
You won't regret what you do. You'll always regret what you don't do. So instead of sitting there saying, oh, maybe I'll give it a shot next school year, maybe I'll give it a shot next semester, or maybe when I have more time, or when my kids are a little older, God wants to use you now. He wants to change what heaven looks like through your hands now. Where you put your attention is where your heart's gonna go. So wherever you're looking, wherever you're aiming is where you're gonna shoot. So if you're aimed at the Lord, and that's where you're gonna land.